Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Toki TV. It is November 13th. Can you guys believe that? It's already middle of November. I know, it's a little bit wild. But here we are, I don't know, 40 some episodes. We've been doing this since February. Each and every Sunday, we gather here for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. So if you're new, if you're watching for the first time or first couple of times, there's lots of YouTube videos for you to catch up on. We've been doing this each and every week, and it really is just an opportunity for us to gather together as we continue to hold her up and continue to await news of her going home, because we know she's going to go home, and that's just an opportunity for us to be family together each and every week. So thank you guys for being here. A lot of people know the drill. They're putting their names in the chat. So TL, Peggy, Donna, hey Peggy, Gloria, Wendy, Linda, lots and lots of people on today. Ola from Germany, good evening to you in Germany, Ola. And before we say hi to everyone, let's just try to get ourselves centered. I know for me, I was telling Alejandro and the ladies that I've been all over the place today. So if you join us on Thursday evenings, you kind of know this, but if you don't, just join with us. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. And we're just going to take a minute to take a few deep breaths. When we breathe in through our nose, we're going to breathe in peace very slowly. So breathe in and breathe out love. Again, breathe in peace and breathe out love. If you find your mind wandering, just think of Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. It's easy to do, and you can breathe in peace and breathe out love. And let's do one more time. Make this one count. Breathe in very deeply, slowly through your nose. Breathe in peace. And breathe out love. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And joining for that. I know I needed to do that for myself. Check in with everyone. Deb Cruz, how's it going?
It is.
A woman of many, many words. Thank you, Deb Cruz. Thank you for being with us. Christina, how's it going?
Good. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. And Deborah?
Hello, everyone. Love and light from Whidbey Island. Getting real excited for some inspiration from our sister, Christina.
Awesome. And Alejandro, how's it going in Florida?
It is what it is, as it is. And copy Deb.
I love it.
Sometimes you just ain't cut the words.
Well, thank you guys for all being here. Stephanie's on. Hey, Stephanie, we're going to be chatting with you in a little bit too. Tamela in Friday Harbor, thank you for being here. Everyone, just keep your names popping up on the screen, and we'll keep thanking you for being with us. So today, we're going to go ahead and start off with a video trailer, and then Christina's going to be talking to us a little bit today. You guys are going to have to bear with me. I have to press a lot of buttons today. So, but let me get this shared here real quick and make sure I'm doing the right one. Here we go.
I don't think FDR ever saw a dam that he didn't think should be built. It just really seemed like a great idea coming out of the Great Depression.
Like all constructed things, dams have a finite lifetime. And a couple decades ago, it was radical in terms of thinking that you could take a dam out. It was unthinkable. Go back 50 years, it was legitimately crazy talk. And the conversation's changed.
The dams, both of them, were illegal to start with.
Noah Dam has been achieving nothing for anyone for 50 years.
All of Indian country is here in spirit, and their eyes are focused on the people of the lower L1.
Taking a dam out and opening up a watershed, reconnecting it with the fish that were there for hundreds of thousands of years, I mean, it gives you, hope.
You can take half of a salmon fishery, eat it, and they'll keep replacing themselves. What kind of a species throws that away?
There are 75,000 dams over 3 feet high in the United States. That's the equivalent of building one every day since Thomas Jefferson was the President of the United States.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for protection provided by the hydroelectric dams for flood control and producing of cheap electricity.
Completely renewable, minor effects on the environment. As far as I'm concerned, if we had more rivers of this size, we could do more hydropower, it would be the best way to go.
We don't believe there's a big enough benefit to keep them there, and there's a huge benefit by taking them out.
You're asking some nasty questions when you ask about a free-flowing Snake River. It'd be a lot of teardrops of joy to see that river running again.
There's a great good here that belongs to the American people that's being stolen by a very small corrupt branch of the federal government.
Yeah, I would advocate sabotage, subversion as a last resort when political means fail.
I think it's just fine for him to be a dam buster as long as he focuses on the right dams to bust, if you will. And that's not all dams.
Dam removal is happening. It's in the real world. It's happening, and it's not all that crazy anymore.
All right, Christina, we're gonna turn it over to you. I gotta figure out how to mute my sound going on here. Sorry, guys. Not sure which one is playing. All right. Told you I have to be patient with me today. I got like 20 windows open. Christina.
You're all good. You're all good. Hey guys, that was good. I like that part where it was all right. I really like that part anyways. Thanks guys. This is a great opportunity to talk about what we can all do to help Toki and Toki's family in the Salish Sea, because you know, the Salish Sea needs some help, and it definitely needs some fish. So we were gonna just watch one other video, because this video helps us remember what happened, and also how it really brought a lot of attention to the Southern residents and their need for salmon. So, Annette, got one of your windows open?
Working on it. Working on it. Here we go.
Okay.
In the summer of 2018, our hearts broke as the amazing orca we call Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut carried her dead calf at the surface for 17 days and 1,000 miles. Over and over, the calf sank, and Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut pulled her to the surface because her attachment to the baby would not allow her to let it go. From time to time, her family would pitch in to help her and lift the calf. Eventually, it was no longer possible to carry on, and the baby slipped beneath the surface forever. Nearly a year later, she would lose her 42-year-old mother. Lack of adequate food surely played into her dual tragedies. For millennia, nutritionally dense Chinook, many of which originated in the Snake River, sustained salmon-eating orcas in the Pacific Northwest. But 4 dams on the lower Snake River, built in the 60s and 70s, decimated the snake's wild salmon runs. Today, while their population declines, orcas struggle to find enough salmon to sustain their families. Sk'aliCh'elh persevered in the face of depleted salmon runs, and in 2020 overcame the odds by delivering a healthy and vigorous calf to her critically endangered community. In Sk'aliCh'ehl's marine world, every addition to the pod brings hope and one more mouth to feed. We must give Sk'aliCh'ehl and her family a chance at life. She's done her part. Now we must do ours. Please contact our leaders and let them know the dams need to be breached now, once and for all.
Yeah, that's like super sad, but it's also, to me, really positive at the same time, because her story, it was worldwide, and it brought so much attention to what we need to do, which is breach the dams, because the dams are the problem. And right after that, or maybe not right after that, Inslee and people, Marie, and they all started the task force after that. And so they did all these studies, but there had already been a lot of studies, but they did a lot of more studies, and they came up with some good stuff on, helping the Salish Sea be like cleaner, and they, made some other laws that, the whale watching boats couldn't like go within a certain amount of feet and stuff like that. But they didn't come up with breaching the dams. So we kept fighting, and we did marches, and we rallied out in front of the courthouse, and we've done like all of these things, and still to no avail. I mean, the dams are still there. And I just want to say that we are going to breach these dams. I know it. 2023 is going to be the year of the river, the year of plenty. And I'm keeping the vision alive. Toki swimming in the Salish Sea with her family, and there's salmon just popping all over the place. And they're all swimming in straight lines and catching lots of big fish. And there's also lots of kelp. But in the meantime, the Salish Sea has some healing to do, and it is in desperate need of the salmon, which is the keystone species. The salmon feeds over 137 different species, and they all rely on that. It's just, it all goes together. It's the salmon literally feeds the trees, the earth. One just doesn't exist without the other. It just doesn't. So we must breach the dams. We cannot let this whole entire ecosystem go away. Obviously, you can't put a price on that. So just as I don't think people really realize how much everything relies on the salmon. And it helps the trees grow, and so many others. So I thought that there was this like really beautiful little clip on what happens to the carcasses when after they spawn and die. And I just thought it was a beautiful illustration of what happens.
Go, then they're gone. And I do not think that we, as people who are on this planet now, should be okay with allowing salmon to go extinct on our watch.
So the average person, when they see a salmon, they see a salmon. They see a finished product. And it's perhaps at the end of their fishing line, perhaps in a restaurant on their plate. But they don't see the complexity of things that went into making that salmon.
Salmon, I think, have the most complicated, you could also say wondrous life histories of, I guess, any fish. They start life by hatching from eggs in a stream, and then they go out to the ocean. When they come back, they're much, much bigger. You're distilling the richness of the ocean and enlivening it. And then that enlivened distillation of the ocean propels itself upstream against gravity. Sometimes they go well over 1,000 miles inland, where after laying eggs and creating the potential for a new generation, they die, and their carcasses feed dozens of kinds of animals, get dragged deep into the woods. The life cycle of the salmon is actually the transformation of the ocean into living beings that come ashore and become the biggest trees in the world.
Wild salmon represent something that is really important to us as human beings. You have Native American cultures here that have evolved with the fish for 11,000 years. You have, families like mine that fish for salmon and eat salmon and think about salmon. And then I think because this is the age of human impact, that where there are wild salmon, I think it represents our faith in Mother Nature, that we allowed that to happen.
Wow. Wow, salmon is amazing. Salmon is like literally amazing. They mountain climb. They mountain climb and they don't have any legs. I mean, that's just amazing. 1,000 miles. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm in awe. I'm just in awe. I thought that illustration was really beautiful. So we must get the salmon back into the Salish Sea. And I don't know, some of you might have remembered a few months ago that Senator Murray and Governor Inslee stated removing the dams would protect the salmon, and they both stated that they are committed to taking actions. The dams being breached was viable, but they said not at this time. And so I'm thinking, well, we run out of time. We need to get the salmon back now, right? I mean, Inslee even promised that, we would not let the salmon or the orca go extinct, but it was just not an option right now. Right around that time, the President of the United States also recommended that we breach the dams. So we need to do this now. The time to do it is between December and March. We can't do it any other time because there's too many things going on. So this is the time to do it. Again, we can't forget what happened in August when the Ice Harbor Dam registered over 72.32 Fahrenheit, which is way too high, significantly above the 68 Fahrenheit threshold that salmon require. So breaching the dams will immediately cool down the water, just immediately, okay? So that's excellent. Also, we need to honor the long-standing treaties with the tribal nations. I mean, these people, they have been living in harmony with the rivers and the oceans and the mountains and the fish since the beginning of time. And, then we came around and we built all these concrete, dams all throughout the rivers. And we just need to listen to the indigenous. We need to get back to nature. We need to restore nature. Salmon being the keystone species, it's on the endangered species list, and it falls under the ESA. And the ESA, the Endangered Species Act, clearly states that an endangered or threatened species shall be provided lands designated as critical habitat necessary for the survival of the species. So literally, the government is breaking their own law. I mean, it's a mockery of itself, the Endangered Species Act, because, I mean, they put the salmon on the endangered species list in 1995. So that was like a really long time ago. Since then, there's been study after study after study after study, and the conclusion is we must breach the dams. So a little trick here, what happened when we started building all of these dams, because the fish started to deplete, we started building hatcheries, right? So the hatcheries, well, they worked at the beginning for a little while, but as time progressed, they started to notice that they really weren't working anymore. And what was happening is, well, the hatchery fish were like living like this, like sort of luxury life or whatever in the hatchery, and they had everything supplied, the pellets came from the sky and just fed them, and they didn't really have to do anything. So they kind of, their immune system and everything is like weaker, and they're not strong, because wild fish, they need to go through like a lot of different things. They can't just be like, swimming around and just being fed from the gods above. And so the fish also, they hurt the wild salmon because they compete for resources, and they also breed, which makes the wild salmon less robust and weakens their immune system. So the fish kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So that's literally not working. The hatcheries seem like a really good idea, but they're really not. So that was like the excuse. Well, we have all the hatcheries, but that's not working. And so then the pro dammers, they want to say that, we rely too heavily on the energy generated by these dams, but that's also not accurate, because we only get 4%. They only generate 4% of our region's energy. So that can literally be replaced with 1, maybe 2 windmills. So there's no reason that we can't breach these dams. We're not asking to breach all the dams in Washington, just 4. So why is that happening? Why haven't we breached the dams yet? I mean, seriously, we're just like killing our wild salmon. Basically, we need to restore the wild salmon. We need to restore the Snake River. And what I found out is, the more and more digging that I did, was that not only are we destroying the fish and potentially an ecosystem, but we're actually paying for it, all of us, with our tax dollars. So because it's amazing how much money it costs to run a hatchery. And we're gonna watch another clip about that right now. In a minute.
With other biologists to raise and release 6.8 million Chinook and steelhead. The next generation of fish needs next generation ideas. Our innovative approach maintains abundant fish populations, giving anglers a chance to land rag-worthy steelhead. Fish on.
Hatcheries are pawns in a game of political power. The whole thing is about money. Fishing is a huge industry, and every state is competing with each other for those dollars. It's not about conserving our resources. It's perverting our resources on a short-term bet to get tourist dollars in. In fact, federal dollars to support fish and wildlife agencies is based on how many license sales there are in each of those states. The internal finances is that it provides power and wealth to the agencies themselves. To build a new hatchery, it's millions and millions of dollars of high, extensive, automated piping and flow systems, so you have lots of temperature control on lots of different fish rearing stations, so you can raise different species up to different sizes and maximize production.
So we've got water costs, electrical costs, building maintenance costs, and just the feeding costs of the fish. So we're looking at plus or minus $20 million in assorted costs throughout a year. It's a major business, and there's portions of that business that 20 plus employees are doing year round.
Hatcheries are a perfect example of political pork. They spread their hatcheries around their state. They're in almost every county of the state. They target them on key members of the state Senate and the state legislature. As a result, they buy the support of that local person.
These hatcheries are a subsidy to commercial fishermen, recreational fishermen, and it's being paid for by all the taxpayers.
I think one of the main reasons why it's important that people understand what's going on is just purely the waste of their money that's happening. In Washington state alone, there are 174 hatcheries producing more than 190 million salmon every year. On the West Coast, over 90% of the quote-unquote wild-caught salmon you find in markets actually came from hatcheries. Between California, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho, citizens pay for the release of almost 280 million fish per year. Last year, between the United States, Canada, Russia, Korea, and Japan, 5 billion salmon were released into the North Pacific.
When I wrote my first book, the Bonneville Howard administration was spending about 140 or 150 million dollars on their program. Since 1982, they've spent 15 billion. The General Accounting Office did a survey, and they showed that hatcheries consumed 40% of that.
The big question is, who pays for the raising of the fish and who gets the benefits? Fish that go out of the Columbia River circle around Alaska, some fish even as far as Russia. Your survival rate goes down to 0.001 or so. Some of those fish, we figure, cost over $1,000.
The Eniat hatchery on the Upper Columbia was producing spring Chinook salmon that were costing $68,031 per harvested fish. State and federal agencies plant more than 100 million rainbow trout in waters across the United States every year. In some of our most protected wilderness areas, places high in the mountains where you're not even allowed to ride a mountain bike or pick a wildflower, taxpayers spend money every year to drop millions of non-native fish by airplane or helicopter just so visitors have something to catch. Billions of dollars of citizen public money is spent to support something that clearly does not work. We're on a path to where there eventually will be no fish, and we will have spent billions of dollars to get to that point.
The ironic thing is that fish know how to do all of this. They know how to live in those environments. They know how to reproduce. So if we allow fish to get back to being fish and doing what they do in those environments, in pulling back some of our infrastructure, restoring streams, we reap the benefits free of charge.
Wow. Let that sink in for a minute. That's, to me, pretty intense. I mean, like I said earlier, you can't really put a price on that. Like once it's gone, it's like gone, right? So we must not let that happen, basically. You know, this is just one little documentary. If you want to do your homework and dig around, you'll find out that this is absolutely true. Also,
Christina, I just want to interject real quick because people are like, I mean, a lot of people know this stuff, right? And some people don't, and some people are new. But I just want to like just check in on some of the comments real quick because people are saying like, I want my money back. You know, seriously. And you know, other people are saying, yeah, me too. And like, you know, TL Stokes says this is crazy. So many dollars to artificially rear salmon when nature does it so perfectly. If we step aside and honor the rivers and allow them to flow free. Deb Allers is said there's a good book written by fish biologists on why hatchery fish aren't the solution. It's called Salmon Without Rivers by Jim. I'm not gonna say that right. Towich. And you know, Deb Allers knows a lot about this stuff and is very into it. Peggy Oki put some links in here, some documentaries that she recommends as well. And Artificial is kind of the one we were showing clips from, and you'll see some others throughout. But yeah, guys, scroll up and look at the links that Peggy posted as well for other documentaries for your research. And I think, you know, someone said, you know, you should, you know, recommended a field trip to the LSRD hatchery for interested folks. It's open to the public, and it's really horrifying to see the artificial conditions. Oops, sorry. And waste of BPA ratepayer federal taxpayer money. I mean, so sorry to interrupt there. I want to make sure people's comments are being acknowledged because, yeah, I mean, seriously, it's natural. It just happens. And here we are trying to intervene and it's not helping. So.
Besides, we're paying for it too. I mean, not only is it not working, we're paying for it to not work, you know? So it's just, it's insanity, really. It's, and what I was getting ready to say was that it's not just happening here in Washington state, okay? It's happening throughout the United States, these hatcheries, these dams. I'm pretty sure it's happening elsewhere too. So, you know, if you live in California or whatever, you know, you can do your research and you can find out what is exactly happening, because this is a United States issue, really. So, I mean, I encourage you to do that. However, here about these dams that I'm talking about in particular, the 4 lower river snake dams, President Biden, or the president of the United States, he can make the order to breach these dams, okay? He doesn't have to go through Congress to breach these dams. He also did advise to breach the dams. So Bonneville Power is not federal, and that's why he can do that. So I have been, you know, asking very nicely. I've been calling, I've been writing, I have been doing that for almost 10 years now, to Governor Inslee and Senator Murray, and I'm just like totally done with them because they still haven't done it. They've just continued to spend more and more money on more research, and the research is done. It's over. And so I decide, me personally, you can choose whomever you want to write to and call, but I choose to go straight to the source basically, and that's the president, because this is a really big deal, and we have to like stop this. It's insanity. So basically I have we were gonna watch one more video. So sorry, I'm all I got messed up with the comments because it gets you like all riled up. It's like, yeah, I want my money back too. Seriously, like unbelievable. So because the Snake River is a national treasure. We cannot let the Snake River run dry. We can't kill all the fish and all the other things that go along with it. It is a national treasure, and we must not let it go away. So we have a little video about
I don't have that video loaded for some reason. So if you want to talk a little bit about the letters and postcards, I'll get that back up.
Yeah, we'll do that. So like I was saying, I chose to target the President of the United States. I wrote him a letter, and I also have a lot of postcards that you can choose from. And you can write your own letter if you want to, but if you do write your own letter, I just want to make sure that you are really specific on your dates, because we need to get this done now. If you are so inclined, you can write a handwritten letter. A handwritten letter equals 20 typed letters or emails. So I really encourage you to write letters, to get your neighbors to write letters, to get your friends to write letters, your kids and everybody to write letters, have letter writing parties. I go to the farmer's market, I go to holiday bazaars and stuff like that, and I set up a little stand with a little table, and I have a stack of postcards, and I get people to sign, and I also just educate them on all of this stuff. I mean, obviously you don't have to do that, but if you can write letters and you can get other people to write letters, that's great. Also, there is a one-click petition on damntruth.org, and there's also some other petitions there. So that gives you like a lot of information. I mean, I just hope that you will all write and call and write and call until we get this accomplished. So, yeah.
You want me to try the video now?
Sure.
Try. Keyword.
Well, if it doesn't work, okay.
All right, here we go.
There's something about a river that goes beyond dollars and cents, resource and recreation, water and waders. Damn Truth is based on science, studies and reports, data and facts, biologists and foresters, modelers and mathematicians, but also on elders who over the years learned about the soul and the spirit of moving waters. So did Norman MacLean. Eventually, he writes, all things merge into one, and a river runs through it. The river was cut by the world's great flood and runs over rocks from the basement of time. I am haunted by waters. The Snake River runs from the Tetons in Wyoming to rugged canyons in Oregon and onward through the rolling hills of Washington. This river connects people across state lines, from its headwaters to the salt waters of the Pacific. It's a river with history, mystery, and hydroelectricity. Thousands of years ago, Native Americans lived along its banks. Millions of salmon swam upstream through its waters to spawn. Hundreds of years ago, white settlers arrived, followed by steamboats and railroads. Then came the dams, 4 of them on the lower Snake, that slowed the flow, warmed the water, and stopped the salmon. The fish gave way to the farms and the runoff they produced. Damn truth seeks neither to put down the farms nor turn off the lights. The goal is to protect what remains of the Wild Snake River and to restore some of what's been missing. We live in a world where people buy, consume, and own. The river is more than just an extra source of energy or a highway for barges. The river is a chance to find calm, comfort, and connection to the planet we live on, the body we live in, and the people we live alongside. And that is why we strive to protect moving water and this free-flowing river.
Yeah. So, I know I was talking about indigenous and following their way because they know what they're doing. They've lived with all of this stuff without bothering it for forever. And I truly believe that Toki coming home is a part of that. I believe that she is part of the balance that will be and begin to be restored to the Salish Sea, because we need to start, righting the wrongs. And the dams is one of them, and Toki is one of them as well. And so I want to just keep that vision alive, and I want to see everyone writing. And also, oh yeah, it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter where you live. You can live in Germany, you can live in Washington, you can live wherever. It doesn't matter. All of your input is counted. So don't be discouraged if you don't live in the state or even the country. We have almost 1 million signers on the one click action, and that's from all over the world. So please, if you live somewhere else, that's great. Actually, it's great because it's like worldwide. It's like, everyone knows about the Southern residents. Everyone wants to save them. So please definitely write, call, email, do it all, and just keep the vision alive. And the Salish Sea is full of fish. It's just, they're just like popping out. There's so many. and so is Toki. Toki's there. And so we're going to breach those dams, and Toki's going to breach in her home waters. And just please keep that vision alive.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Christina. This is really, I know we've talked a little bit about it before, but there's, like I was mentioning, there's so many new people to the group and to this group page and following. And so just really, why is this so important? Why are we talking about it on Toki TV? Well, this affects her family, and so I know we're going to close today with a longer video, but just to kind of bring it in, I want to share a little bit of some good news and a reminder of why we're doing this. Lots of sightings this last week from the JK and L pods, and so I'm gonna see if I can share some pictures with you guys. We try to get some video. Actually, I do have one video, but I'm gonna show you pictures first. I think I'm gonna try to show you pictures first. See. Is it this one? Yeah, I think this. Okay. So, can you guys see that? Are you guys seeing the pictures?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Because I'm looking at a different screen, so I can't see. So, here's some pictures. We don't have a picture of Ocean Sun. However, she has been sighted 3 times. Just maybe a little camera shy, but she has been sighted recently. But here's some of L pod. This is Toki's pod. This is her family. So really good reminder. This was taken on the 6th, so just this past week. And there's a little one with some kelp or a stick. They're just you have to smile when you look at this. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? These are all taken from the Center for Whale Research page. Sharing with you because we love to look at this. 6. God, they're just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. TL Stokes says, Toki's mom Ocean Sun was seen this last week. I was out 3 days and viewed all 3 pods 2 of those days. That's so awesome. Look at that. So great. Look at that eye. It's just, oh, that's beautiful. Some more owls. Look at that. Like a little kid. Look at that. Let's see, some more. Super pod. Okay, now I'm going to go back because I just want to show you this. Doesn't this look like they're out there scoping out Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's new place? I really think that. I think that's why they're sticking around. I was saying that this last Thursday. Christina got a kick out of that. I really do. I think they're here and they're looking for where is she coming? Where is she coming home? Where's her spot going to be? Oh, these pictures are just gorgeous. You guys can go to Centers for Whale Research and check all these out. These were all owl pod, and then we'll be looking here soon. Here's some Ks. Look at that. Baby. K45, one of the newest babies. Oh, they're so gorgeous. Yeah, guys, go to Centers for Whale Research page so you can check all these out. There's K20. Here's some J's. And there we go. So yeah, I wanted to share just a reminder. There's many reasons to breach the dams, and those are just some really special ones. So they're there looking for food, and we can make a difference in helping them do that. I'll show you real quick a quick video. It's short, and this is also from Centers for Whale Research. And here we go. Just 28 seconds. It doesn't get old. Some of you lucky people, I know people were posting that they saw and they were out there and they got to see them. If you have pictures, send them in to us. We'll get them up here. Love the comments. She wants her daughter. I can imagine how she feels. As a lot of us are moms, I resonate with that. I really think Ocean Sun's out there. She's picking the spot. She's picking the spot.
She feels us. She knows. I mean, I know she knows that Toki's coming home really soon. I know she knows.
Yeah.
Just know it. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. You guys go look at all the links that were being posted. Deb Cruz posted some links. Deb Allers gave some good information on there. Peggy put a bunch of links. Thank you, Peggy. Also some direct links on where to write to the president and to your representatives. So yes, Christina, thank you for educating us today. Cindy Barker, really, really important. You guys share this video after it's done. You can share it from Facebook. You can share it from YouTube for anyone that, I mean, like Christina said, anyone can write. Anyone can do this. You don't have to be a resident of Washington. So share it. Share some of the links that Peggy posted. Share this video, as we tie it to Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut and her beautiful family, which is why we are here each and every week and will continue to be until she gets home. Let's check in with everyone before we close with the video. Deborah?
I've been advocating against the dams for quite a while too, and I thought I knew everything about this, or like a lot about it, right? And I even didn't realize how much those hatchery salmon were costing the American people. I'm like, that's a really, really, really expensive salmon dinner, people. And then I think, we need to remind people too that like these power companies, they get subsidized too. So they're getting even more of your tax money to run the dam that's giving you 4%. And then they're going to charge you in your power bill for that power. So I think that this might be the new way. Is like when we talk about the dams, talk about the money, because I didn't even realize that. And maybe that will get more people involved. Not everybody in the world is an orca dork, and they're like, oh, that's just an orca, it's just a fish. But they're not going to say it's just my dollar. So maybe that's a good thing. I'm impressed, Christina. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Deb Cruz, you're on mute, but is there anything you want to add? No.
Nope, just get your letters in. You've got the Army Corps of Engineers, you've got BPA, you've got President Biden, you've got our state representatives, because there's work we can do to help move things along while we're waiting on whatever might or might not come down from the feds. So write your letters.
Thank you. Alejandro.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christina, for the information. And it's very important to bridge dams because everything is connected. The salmon, the people, the environment, like you mentioned, these species, are very important for the environment. The salmon is the key. The other thing is I think and I feel that Lolita's families are swimming around because they know Lolita's coming home. They know that Lolita is coming home, so keep the chain of love towards Lolita, her family, support Lami people. They are doing this with huge efforts to bring Lolita home, and it's a true process that we need to go step by step. So we will bring her back home. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. She is well, she is whole, she is home.
She's home.
Absolutely. And Alejandro and I are going to be on the Gathering radio show this Tuesday night.
Oh, yes. Tuesday.
9 p.m. Eastern time, so 6 p.m. Pacific, talking about who we love to talk about. We'll be talking about Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut and any and every opportunity, you guys, that you have to share information about her and her story and the plans. Please do. It could just... one person could be inspired and share that with, a company of 1,000, and, it just spreads. So it's all about education. It's all about spreading awareness. So thank you, Stephanie, for inviting Alejandro and I, and then Howard will also be on that show in December. So thanks, Stephanie, for all you're doing to spread awareness through your platform. We really, really appreciate it. The link, guys, is on the Orca Network, Lolita TokiTV page, so you can check that out. And Christina, is there anything else you want to say before I show that last video? Oops, I muted you. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just with Deb Cruz. Please write and call and we'll get this done, because 2023 is the year of the river. 2023 is the year of plenty. 2023 is the year we're going to breach the dams, and Toki's going to breach in her home waters. Woo!
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it. All right, guys.
Positive.
Absolutely. You guys have a great week, and listen in on Tuesday night at the Gathering radio show, and then join us back here for somebody coined it Toki Time Thursday. It is our meditation, our collective time, and then we will see you back here for Toki TV next Sunday. So everyone have a great week, and we'll watch this. It's about 5 minutes, okay?
Good morning and welcome to Olympic National Park and former Lake Aldwell. For those of you who have not been down here before, right where my finger's at is where we are at when the lake used to be here. So you can imagine, we had been here, 5 years ago, for example, we would be underwater swimming.
With Lower Elwha Dam removed and Lake Aldwell gone, rangers take park visitors to places not seen in a century. not even by the tribe who holds them sacred.
We were told, we have it in stories, but to be able to actually walk the land, to really have the power of the land itself speak, having that opportunity to walk the grounds that our ancestors had walked, taking that first step on those grounds is indescribable. It had that eerie feeling.
As restoration of the Elwha River continues, tides of renewal wash across the homeland of an ancient people.
The river itself is a cultural resource, and having that river system intact and restored again is going to help restore the tribe's culture and reinvigorate all sorts of things that haven't happened in years and years.
It's been long overdue. Something of 100 years of challenges that our elders and our ancestors have gone through.
The Elwha has been home to the Sk'aliCh'elh people since time immemorial.
I have some flake stone tools that came from the site here in the valley, but this is just a really small part of their entire material culture. The Elwha were one of the most sophisticated and complex hunter-gatherer cultures in the world. If you have full-time artists, then you're not having trouble feeding people and you're not having trouble keeping a roof over people's heads because they can afford to do that art.
At the heart of the tribe's well-being was the abundance of salmon in the river.
One of the major questions attached to dam removal is how many adult salmon will return to the Elwha. We're using this new technology, the sonar, and it's counting the number of adults, specifically steelhead and chinook that are swimming up the river. You can think of it kind of like a flashlight of sound going into the river, except it's actually 96 flashlights highly focused. So we get sort of movie-like imagery, if you will, of these fish swimming by. The next time Chinook salmon enter the river, they'll have access to the entire watershed. They'll be able to swim right through glides and recolonize the entire river the way it was historically over 100 years ago.
Just upstream, the remnants of Glines Canyon Dam will soon make way as crews prepare for a final blast. Scientists expect salmon's return to the Elwha's far reaches will jumpstart the health of its entire ecosystem.
There were bears, there were eagles, there were all these critters using this watershed when the salmon went all the way to the headwaters.
Salmon are a keystone species. There's studies from the Pacific Northwest that show dozens of different animals that use them. They are the fundamental building blocks of the ecosystem.
Inside fragile eggs weighing just a fraction of an ounce each, hearts thrum to life in young salmon.
They go to sea, they spend years at sea, and they put on all this mass and take up all these marine nutrients. And then they come back in and they die or they're moved around by wildlife, and those nutrients are distributed in a pretty significant way into the surrounding vegetation.
And on Elwha, when that was taken away, that's when the ecosystem started to crash.
And now, they're starting to return. Fish moving past where the lower dam once held them back are already supporting new life.
Our children are going to see a very different Elwha River than what we see right now.
After decades of effort, a very different Elwha is only moments away. Safely distant from a demolition crew at Glines, park visitors share a moment in history.
And today is the day that they're doing the final blast. So this is a really exciting day. I'm really happy that you guys are out sharing this experience.
We had our last blast on Glines Canyon Dam. So we essentially opened up the river for whatever wants to come up.
The river's biggest and most celebrated fish are back, and they're already laying eggs for the next generation, just around the bend from what days before was the base of Glines.
Today we're doing a spawner survey of this section of the river. We can hear fish excavating their redds. You can hear the splashing as they're moving the gravels and creating their redds.
I want everyone to just take a moment and stop and listen to this amazing sound of this beautiful river flowing. Because it is the first time in 100 years you can hear the the Elwha River free flowing.
It's really inspiring and humbling to really recognize the power the river has in its own course and in its own meaning. Having the river itself be free, as what we're listening to today.
All right. And I know I said we were ending with that video, but if you want to hang out, we want to end with the music video. And so I'm going to play that. And for real this time, we're going to leave after this, and you guys have a great week. Let me try this again. What an interesting day this has been for me. Here we go.
My dear salmon, where are you? You are nowhere to be found. We've made it so you can't get through. Take those damn dams down, take them down. Take them down, 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 take them down. All the treasures that we've lost, just to benefit a few. It was never worth the cost. Take those damn dams down, take them down. Take them down, 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 take them down. We hear our politicians say this is the only way, but we're the ones who pay. And deep in our hearts we know what's true. Change comes from me and you. Together we will see this through. Come on, people, raise your voice. We need everyone to say, time is now, we have no choice. Take those damn dams down, take them down. Take them down, 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 take them down. Take those damn dams down, take them down. Take them down, 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 take them down.